Hey everyone, welcome to Collector Chatter. In today's episode, we're going to talk about a bunch of new Funko Pops. A huge Thrilljoy wave came out. We have some cards we're going to talk about, some comics, and at the end, we're going to talk about if the new Michael Jackson biopic will be making $1 billion.
Collecting is the way. Now let's chat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Collector Chatter. This is episode 151. I am Migs here with Charlie. What's up, Charlie? How you doing?
Doing good. I'm excited for this episode. We have a whole gamut of things to talk about, so I'm excited for that.
Yes. It's a jam-packed episode. We had a good week. We've been dealing with some cold still over here, so it's been a little rough in the Northeast, but we're keeping on. There's a lot of news and collectibles and stuff that we want to talk about. Like I said a little bit in the intro, if you guys are excited, we're going to talk about some Funko. There's a lot of new pops that are out. We'll get right into talking about what we like, a couple things like that, as well as Thrilljoy, which they dropped a massive wave. We've been talking about how they keep doing this, and they had a huge wave that came out. So we're going to talk about those. A new Disney Tops line dropped, and we have some new VeeFriends comics. We have a new one that officially came out, and we'll probably get into a little bit of a potential leak list that's out there about what's coming. And then when we switch over to the cinema chatter talk, we're going to talk about two big trailers that we were excited for. Like I said in the intro, one of them is the Michael Jackson trailer for the new biopic, Michael. And we're going to talk about kind of like what we think is going to happen with that, how much money it's going to potentially make. And there's a new Stranger Things 86, like an animated one that we're going to talk about. That trailer first came out as well. And I'm excited. So it's a jam-packed episode, so we'll get right into it. Charlie, we could start off with the Funko stuff. So what did you see? Because there was a few. I have a feeling I know which one you're going to say. But what was maybe a wave or a line or something that came out that you're like, okay, these are pretty sick?
There's a few actually, but first, I was pretty pumped for the new Star Wars Darth Maul, Shadow Lord Pops. This is the new animated series we're getting on Disney Plus, which for me, as a huge Star Wars fan, I'm really pumped for this show. It will maybe be cool if in the future when it comes out we can talk about it on the podcast. But the line was, a decent size line. We're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pops. One I think is a Target exclusive. One is going to be a Funko.com exclusive, which that's a version of Maul. We're getting two versions of Maul. We're getting a new Inquisitor. We're getting Rookcast, and we're getting Icarus. These are, newer characters. So even though they're familiar looking, Mandalorian armor, but I'm excited for these. For once, we're getting I think some fresh new Star Wars pops of characters that people will probably potentially become huge fans of. So yeah, I'm excited for this line.
Yeah, I figured that was definitely going to be a big one. I saw when that came out. I was like, oh, it's pretty intense that they're coming out. And I think we saw a little bit in a toy fair where they were announcing these lines are going to be coming, and it was all movies and shows that they're not even out yet. So we know that they're already kind of been in the works. And this was one of them. Obviously, Maul's an awesome looking character, and generally all of his pops have been great. So when you got a little line like this and a couple new characters, like you were saying, details on them, colors and everything, they look good. So this is definitely a set that I'm sure if you're a fan of, that character or Star Wars in general, the excitement behind the show, obviously, this is a good set to see dropping during that as well. So I definitely agree. Another one in a similar kind of thing. We actually think we've talked about both of these trailers in the same in the same episode. Is the Daredevil? We got two, I think, right? Daredevil Born Again 2, which is of course the second season of the MCU series that they have come out with for Daredevil. We got a normal one, and then we have a battle damaged one. This is him obviously in the new black suit, looks pretty sick. The battle damage one looks awesome as well. It's a little bit different of a pose, so I like that they changed it up and they didn't just do a paint job. You're actually getting a different set. He's even got weapons in one, not in the other one. So it's a cool little set, and I do like that it's only two. Honestly,
agreed.
It's perfect
for now.
that it's not I'm sure we're gonna get more. But, for him, perfect. Get those 2, and then maybe if we get a villain or a side character or whatever, you can get a couple more in there, but we don't need to overdo it. But it is nice to see this, of course, again, ahead of the show when we're kind of waiting for it to come out. We're already getting some of these. Now, the only thing that kind of could be negative on both of these is like potential spoilers, I guess you can say, and like seeing a little bit more than you probably would have even just in a trailer. But
Yeah.
I mean, Funko's been doing it forever though, so I'm not surprised.
One thing I found interesting about this pop is that he's clearly just spray paints his suit.
Oh,
Which
yeah, because of the the battle damage.
which is kind of like you said, spoiler. I mean, the black suit, I feel like people knew was coming. It just looks so badass. But
Yeah,
it is just interesting to see that he's just going to spray paint his suit in the show. Which I mean gives that the realistic, grounded
exactly. Yeah.
type world that Daredevil lives in. But I mean, I agree with you. I think these are both super cool. I think I probably will get the black one for my collection. I think that
Yeah.
one's super cool.
Yeah.
Another pop that they announced, which I'm like super excited for, and I actually want to turn this one into a little bit of a conversation. So for the new Pixar movie Hoppers, we're getting the main character, and then the chase is of that character of the human form. Where, like, if you're not familiar with this movie, essentially they come up with a technology where humans can go into animals. So I found it interesting that this is the route they were going. I mean, it's funny. It reminds me of what Thrilljoy is kind of doing these days. I know Funko has kind of had chases like this before, but for the main character of the movie, that the only way you can get the human looking version as the chase, I find interesting. I think it's actually cool. I kind of like that Funko decided to do this, but I was just curious, like, what your opinion is on that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's actually the smarter thing to do because I'm sure the, you know, actual beaver version, animal version is the one you're probably going to see the
The
majority of
most
the
of them,
time
yeah,
for the movie. And as a kid or as a fan or whatever, that's who you're probably going to gravitate to, not as much as the human. So if they had to do, the fact that they did the common and chase makes it interesting. It makes it better, more unique. But I think if they flipped it, it would kind of be because like more kids would want the beaver, but it's going to be harder because it's the chase. It's obviously a less chance to get
100%.
it. So I think they kind of did that right. But I think it is cool that they did it that way because it's not just two characters. It's essentially it's technically the same character, like you were saying. It's not just like a side character or whatever. And this is a perfect. There's probably other characters, but do we need all of them? Maybe not. So like this could be
Yeah.
just the ones that they do. People have even been commenting like two different molds for the same pop with the chase. Like you don't see that every day. Like it's funny because like this is what they should be doing, and
Yes.
they really never were. They would have made these two completely different pops and then come out with another
This
one.
screams soda.
Yeah, yeah, it's back. Like you even said, it's got the Thrilljoy
Yeah.
esque to it because it's like you're getting that one and the other one. But soda, exactly. They've done it, but not as often as we would like. And this one is interesting because it's like, how big is this movie going to be? Like, we don't know yet; it's still new, and they're already getting pops for it,
Yeah.
which is quite interesting because a lot of people in the comments, actually, like a lot of people in the comments, I don't know if you looked at the comments, are all saying like they're upset that there's still no elemental pops.
Yeah.
Especially like when we're getting this, and it's like that movie was big and it's great. And you could obviously there's characters in that movie, that you could do. So it's interesting that like obviously licensing and stuff maybe has something to do with it, but
Well,
I don't know if
actually,
you have
that
a
movie
take on
did
that.
terrible. It
In
became
theaters,
more of a
yeah,
a
it got
kind
more
of a
pop
classic on
cult
Disney
kind of a thing.
Plus,
Yeah,
kind of just like what happened with Encanto. It's kind of crazy to even think now that that movie didn't do well in movie theaters. I agree. We should get Elemental Pops. It is a great movie. It's extremely underrated. But I feel like the way Disney seems to be doing their stuff, it's kind of like they like to do it in the moment, which I do appreciate when like it's hot, and then like kind of move on unless it's a huge franchise like Toy Story. or Monsters Inc. or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, we get toys and we get stuff for that. So there obviously are. They do see that there is a
Yeah.
need for it, but like it is interesting to see Funko like where they are in the timeline of like, okay, we got to get this out. We're gonna make this. Where this is a movie that honestly, like, it looks kind of cool, it's cute, but I don't know if it's gonna be that good. And it already has Funko Pops. Like, I'm kind of surprised that it even
I'm
has
excited for this
Pops.
movie.
See, I don't know. Like all those movies you named, like I would take a billion times over this movie, and they don't have as much love with Funko, at least.
No.
So interesting for sure. But yeah, that one is I did have that on my list. That's something that I like seeing. Another one is, obviously we're sports and baseball fans, so we do have a couple
Yes.
mascots that are going to be coming out.
I love these.
Which this was cool. This is a line obviously that already exists, but we're adding to it. We're going to get one of the Tigers from Detroit Tigers and the Cubs mascot, the little bear. So these two, adding to the rest of the, I don't know how many there are, but I know there's a few handfuls of
There's a
the
decent amount.
mascot
I actually
ones.
collect these. So
Okay, nice.
But they haven't made one for every team yet. And like, it's not like these are repeats, which is cool in a weird way. I really like that this is like a line that you can get excited about still. Like Mr. Met, which obviously I got that because I'm a huge Met fan, but I got that like when I first started collecting Funko Pops.
Yeah,
so like they're
an older one.
Still making them, which is cool.
Yeah, it is good that we're not flooded with every single one. You're like, damn, I got all these. Like, they kind of just come out little by little.
Yeah.
And this is a little set that you can get.
It's just funny that you bring those up because I was really excited for those. Another one that I'm excited for is, which I think is a Funko Shop exclusive, is we're getting another Zootopia 2 pop. I feel like they're going to make more characters now because of how well that movie did. Because we already got a bunch from Zootopia 2, but now we're getting Wind Dancer, who was a new character for the movie. I actually thought he was a great character. This pop kind of really shows off the personality of the character as well. I think it's super cool, and I like we're getting just one. I feel like they've made the important characters for Zootopia 2. They didn't just flood it with every single animal you could. But I do think this is a cool pop.
Yeah, I agree. It looks cool. It's great. It's very unique character. It's funny character. So it's cool to see that we're getting one. There was so many characters, like pretty big characters, obviously, and a lot of side small characters that just kind of popped in here and there. But it's one that had a little bit more screen time that you can justify. Like, yeah, okay, this getting a pop makes sense. But I agree, it's obviously very popular now, so I'm sure they'll continue to kind of maybe milk the line as much as they can. But hopefully we get like new characters and not just the same one, in a different version, essentially. So we'll see if we get more of those. I did want to bring this pop up because it was not that like the pop is anything great, but the big like hype behind it is like the glow on this. And I don't know if you've seen this, but the Bambi pop that is actually one of the exclusive
Barnes and Noble.
5K Barnes and Noble exclusive 5K LE on it, which is pretty wild. It's just a Bambi, normal Bambi pop. Bambi like laying down, like down, our legs down. But the glow on this, it looks like a nightlight, and it looks crazy because
it does.
It like I don't know if it's just the way the pictures have been taken of it, but like anyone that has been posting, and maybe it's the color, like it has that like bright color to it. Like this glow looks crazy. So like I was just interested, like, do they have a new process to doing their glow? Like it literally looks like people even are saying in the comments. I didn't even see the comments yet when I said it.
It does look
like a nightlight. Which is kind of a cute, funny little nightlight to have. It's a little Bambi, put it on a little desk or something, and it can light up. But I mean, who knows if it really lights up around it like that? But I don't know if you had any thoughts on that one.
It's funny. My thoughts are just like, why are we making this Funko Pop? In my opinion, but because this is a limited edition pop, people are talking about it. If this exact one was a common, I don't think anyone would care. Like,
course.
as a huge Disney fan, like, I appreciate Bambi, but, like, I feel like no one really cares about Bambi. This pop, I think, basically already exists without the glow.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's part of like the classics line is
yeah,
what
the
it
Disney
shows.
classics, which I feel like is just what they now call any old movie that they make of a pop for Disney. I don't
Hmm.
know. I just like look at that. It's just, dude, we talk about this all the time. They're like strategy and direction of their products really is just like all over the
All
place.
over the place.
It just makes no sense. Like I'm praising how awesome the Hoppers strategy is, and then we're just gonna get let's just slap a limited edition piece on this Bambi pop that may have been a common, but we know people are gonna buy it now because
Hmm.
I know we've talked about it in previous episodes, but like I'm so fascinated by the limited edition of everything that people just buy those.
Yeah. Like regardless.
Yeah,
Just
doesn't
because
matter
it
what it
is.
is.
Yeah.
Is wild. I mean, there was a few other things that they announced, but is there anything else that really
I didn't really
caught
have
your eye?
much else.
Yeah, me
Honestly,
either.
it's kind of funny because we didn't even tell each other our list, but like everything I wrote down was exactly what we both kind of
Yeah,
talked
it's
about.
kind of
It was
funny.
actually perfect. Because yeah, there was obviously a few other things, but those are definitely the big things for me. But yeah, I'm good. I'm good with moving on to the
The
Thrilljoy
Thrilljoy.
drop because there was a lot of those. We can run through all of them, obviously, because they all were officially announced kind of together. Um, there's a bunch. There's a mix of some with, the common and chase. We got a couple common chase and super chase options. Some of them, which we'll get into, I think are like perfect, like the way they did that when
Yep.
it comes to common chase. I'm sure you probably know which one I'm talking about, but yeah, we can run through I think Dish Trackers has a good post with all of
Yeah.
them on a couple slides. So um what's that first one? So we got Monster High, which
Yeah.
I think is a show is it on Disney Plus?
No, it's actually a
Mixing
Nickelodeon,
that up
but
with a different
I
one.
mean, we've had a live action movie, we've
I was mixing
had
up with
a
Zombie.
cartoon, we've had, I mean, these dolls, I think they actually started off
Yeah,
as
okay, that's
toys.
what it is. Yeah.
Started off as toys. This, I find it wild that they have this license and they're making these. I find these to be, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if anyone who's listening to this podcast is going to get these.
I'm sure they have some type of fandom or people that are out
They
there.
they definitely do, but I feel like I don't know if people who are buying picks are fans of these. Even though I'm assuming I do guess like more some adults may collect the dolls still because they have made them like collectible.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's cool because it's different. I mean, I think Funko's made pops of these before, but these do look cool.
Mm-hmm.
One that they have that I think I like, and Thrilljoy has been making some pop. Oh my god, I said pops. Some picks like this, but the William Shakespeare one,
Yeah.
that is just so random. But like they have definitely, have leaned into like historical figures like this.
It's kind of where they started with some of them, actually.
Yeah, and this has a chase, and then it has a 24-piece one.
Yeah, which is
I
crazy.
weirdly really like this one. I mean, it doesn't even fit my collection, but I just think it's cool. It's different, and like
It's a cool one. It looks good. I mean,
yeah,
even
it looks good.
like with the skull, like
Yeah,
it's very iconic. With the pen, the quilt, like in paper,
quite frankly,
like
the Hero's the best one.
Yeah.
With
I
the
was gonna
skull.
say the hero, and even the chase is cool. The super chase is a little like that one's the
Yeah,
one that's kind of like a little random, but obviously it's just so rare that
yeah,
people are gonna want it regardless, just because of what it is, and we know kind of how that fandom goes. But I don't know. It's not something I would get, but it
yeah.
is interesting. It's cool. I like it, and I think that if you're a fan of obviously Shakespeare or any of those times or whatever, like it's a good one to get. And the hero being again one that's probably in both of our opinions the better one. Chance are you're gonna get that one, so it's kind of good to go and grab one. And then the next one I think is, and this is the one I was saying, I think is like
Yeah, I
so
knew you.
perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, great show. Obviously, it's Ed, and Eddie. However, like this was the perfect way to set it up because there's three characters. We obviously have Ed, we have Ed, and then we have Eddie, and it's just like that common chase Super Chase. So obviously the Eddie is going to be the Super Chase, will be the most rare, which I'm sure a lot of people will chase this. This set is one that's like, you if you are a fan, let's say like a big fan of this, like you have to try to get them all. Like you're not just gonna
you took
have
the
Ed
words right out of my mouth.
or Ed and Eddie, or Ed and Ed.
You're
like,
gonna want them all.
You want them all, and obviously Eddie's gonna be the hardest one to get. But it's 96p, so it's not like impossible, but that's very rare still. But it's not like a lot of the other, like the Shakespeare. You can just get one and be fine with it. If you really love Shakespeare, maybe you'll try to get all three. But this makes more sense because it's three characters that, if you're a fan, you probably like all three, so you're gonna want to get them. But they look good too. The molds, just like them. It's pretty funny. Cool. Yeah.
The next we got a bunch of Lost Boys picks. They're fine.
Super Chases though, all of them.
Yeah, all of them. I mean, I feel like they're making more and more of those now. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a huge like Lost Boys fan. Are you?
I'm not either, and it's always been one of those, like, obviously I'm a big horror fan, so people probably think I would be maybe into it, and I've never even seen it, honestly. I like know of it. I've seen bits and pieces here and there. I know a little bit of the characters, but I really don't know. I don't know the concept. I don't know much about it at all, to be honest. I just know it exists and it's something, right? But I will say, with this set, again, I think if you're not going to have three perfect characters like an Ed and an Eddie, this common chase, super chase, which I believe they are, right? Yeah, okay.
Yep.
The way they did it, if it's going top to bottom, which I'm assuming is what they did, it's perfect because you're getting a common, which is a normal character. You're getting a chase, which is like a variant of that character, which of course here is like a vampire, right? Then the super chase is a completely different character. That I think is actually pretty cool, because then you're like really pushing for a reason to get that super chase. Because if it was just the Michael Emerson, then the Michael Emerson is a vampire, and then the Michael Emerson, okay, let's go back to Shakespeare, the Michael Emerson like in gold or whatever.
Yep.
That's not as cool. Like now you got Alan Frog, like a completely different character. You're gonna, if you love the movie, you're gonna want to go for that.
We're brain sinking because I 100% agree with you. It's wild, and it's like the one we obviously always have our thoughts on Thrilljoy, but like this is why some people are buying a ton of these, because
that
like
kind of say, that makes sense.
They do at least know what they're doing to that aspect. I know we're not the type of people who are going to keep buying them, but at least there is a reason. If you really are chasing that, is for something that it's the only way you're going to get it. It's not, like you said, just a random chase. Let's just pretend like 100%. The chase of this
set honestly, was the Shakespeare one. That one's a little like common chase, cool. Super chase, what did it have to be that?
There's just no point. But yeah, I think if you're a Lost Boys fan, these are cool.
Yeah, you got enough variety too.
Yeah, tons of variety. It's funny because they were big in sodas too.
Yeah, that's kind of where I remember. Like I was like, oh, there's like hype behind this, but
it's just I mean,
never was.
Brian's just
even one of the characters, if I'm not mistaken, which is the David character as a vampire, I believe is in the 13 horror advent calendar. I think one of them was him.
Oh wow, okay.
I'm pretty sure, because I think I remember opening that and being like, oh,
that's funny.
Possible, whatever it was, but who knows?
It is just so funny, obviously, the similarities between Funko and Thrilljoy, because it's amazing how many people still don't know. So many people have commented on our short where we made a joke, the meme about the mystery pops.
Yeah.
People are just like, oh, dude, Thrilljoy copied Funko. I'm like, well, actually, the guy who created all that stuff is the one who created Thrilljoy.
Yeah, I know.
It's so funny.
And that's the thing. We do, even like, we don't have to go on a tangent here, but like the reels, obviously, we put up reels most of the time just kind of be funny, like tongue in cheek. And that was one that I always thought was like, yeah, like clearly, like we also know that Pop Mart has done stuff before, both of them, right? Like we know that, obviously.
Yeah.
It was obviously to kind of just feed into the whole like, oh, Thrilljoy's doing this, whatever. And like, we're fans of both, fans of all of those stuff. So Yeah, clearly, and it's the same guy, like you said. Yeah, so if he created something somewhere else, he can probably still do it somewhere else, in
The
a
reason
different
I even
place.
bring it up though, it's like I'm assuming he likes the Lost Boys. It's like it's
Yeah.
interesting to see some of the properties that aren't huge get brought over. But this next one, which is one of my favorite movies of all time, E.T.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think this one's fine. I think the chase is kind of lazy.
I know.
I would
I
have,
kind of wish they had him with the freaking
dude.
like
Yes, 100%.
blanket. Like,
I I mean, it's a moment. It's like a significant part of the movie, but I don't even know if I even love this mold.
yeah,
Something
I think
about
it's
it's just
strange
like,
in a Pix
yeah,
mold, which obviously they all have their own look in the eyes. Although the eyes fit because he kind of does have a little bit
yeah.
like longer eyes. But yeah, maybe the shape it does kind of seem a little odd compared to like how you would picture an ET.
I also
Like his
don't like the
body's a
red
little big.
box. That's just like not
Yeah,
really ET.
yeah, they should change that up, which is
But
interesting. Mm,
still, it's a cool character that they're making that.
mm-hmm. And then on this next page, just kind of like some stuff that screams me, which is terrible because I don't want to have stuff that I want to get. So we do have some Universal monsters, and on this one we got a Frankenstein. Then we got the Bride of Frankenstein. Then we do have a Super Chase again, which is like the black and white version of Frankenstein. Pretty cool. I kind of wish it was maybe a completely different character as a third one. But I guess they're just kind of going more just a Frankenstein
Yeah,
specific.
they're contradicting though what you just brought up. What made
But
them
that's what I'm saying.
awesome,
I kind of wish it wasn't like this.
or it should just be
Although,
reverse. Like,
exactly, maybe the black and white be the chase, and then the bride be
yeah,
the super chase that you're really going to chase after.
it,
So yeah, it is odd that they don't consistently keep the same because I did it obviously differently with the Shakespeare one. So like they kind of do a variety, which I guess isn't terrible because it's like you can pick and choose whatever. But if you're a fan of one and you like the variety of how a different thing did it, but you're not a fan of that, it kind of stinks, a little bit. Because you're
yeah,
like, why wouldn't they do it with this? But yeah, that's interesting. Then we got Dracula. So Count Dracula, Vlad the Impaler, and then the super chase is him in his like whole armor and everything, which that we also got in soda form.
yeah.
You remember Bram Stoker's so that one is really cool. It looks good. This one is three different ones, so I can't hate on this one because that look with the whole like armor and everything on it is obviously a very iconic one.
It's still the wrong way.
But but it's yeah. It's funny because in this one, the chase and super chase are the same character, and then the common or hero is something else. So it's like, yeah, they kind of just are throwing them out there differently. But I can't hate the lines and hate that we are getting
No.
a mix, but there is no consistency specific to that whole thing. And then the last one is, of course, Michael Myers from Halloween. This is actually from Halloween 2, I think specifically. Yeah. Obviously, huge fan. One of my favorite horror characters of all time. It's Michael Myers. I like it. I like the way it looks. It fits into this mold pretty cool. I believe. No, we've seen a Jason in the big megapix. We didn't see a
No,
Michael.
I don't think
This
we've
would be
ever
great
seen
in
it.
Mike
Yeah.
as a megapix. I don't like the chase though. To me, very lazy. He literally has a knife and he like flips it upside down. So I think there's a little bit of blood, but barely. Like it should have been all bloody. Like something
He's got
drastically
blood on
different
his outfit too.
in the chase.
Yeah.
But it's not like a lot though. I don't know. Like it's just
No. Yeah.
like I don't like it should be on his mask. Like to me, like it's not enough to justify being a nice chase. But again, for us, this is perfect because it's like, okay, if I get one, regardless of which one I get, cool. That's how
I agree.
That's how we buy
Like I have no
Thrilljoy
like
and a
I'll
lot of
buy
other things.
one,
But yeah,
and I'm good.
but it is something that is I'm happy to see.
Yeah, I we had talked about this before. Like, I don't know. I just really like the way this one looks. It is an interesting choice to go with Halloween 2 though as your first. Like, that's really random, but
Yeah, I
still
mean, I
looks cool.
guess just because it's like very specific to the look and the face and whatever, and like
Yeah.
they do obviously each Halloween it is a little different, like how Michael looks. Um, I guess that's just the one. Because I feel like a lot of times even with Funko, they would go Halloween 2 over Halloween, which is a little odd. Not with
You're,
all of them, but like
yeah, no,
there
you're
was a lot
right.
more pops that would come out that were like
I
the
just feel like
sequels.
you're right, and that maybe I'll give Thrilljoy credit with this, and maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if you know. I don't think it ever said Halloween 2 though on like the Funko Pop box.
Some do.
They do? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm almost positive. I'll double check on some of them. Like obviously, like the movie poster that I have clearly was
Yes,
Halloween
yeah, yeah.
because obviously it was Halloween pop. But I want to say for most of, I'm just trying to see if there's any. Oh no, so Halloween. No, actually, maybe they only said Halloween. Well, the OG stuff obviously was.
Yeah, you know what?
So there was a
They made a
Halloween
Halloween
2.
2 one.
Yeah, like a newer one.
I don't think I've ever even seen that Funko Pop, so that's funny that I say that.
I just said that too with the bloody eyes. Is that what you're
Yeah,
looking at?
I don't think I've ever seen
I don't
that.
think I've ever seen that either. So yeah, actually, all the other ones are Halloween. The first one. Interesting. Maybe it's a different license for each one.
Yeah.
Should be interesting.
That's wild, though. I've never seen that Funko Pop. Wild.
I didn't either. That's kind of weird because I have most of those.
Yeah.
Michael Myers.
It actually looks relatively new. It's got the new Funko sticker on it. No.
Yeah, it's definitely a newer one. So
Interesting. Okay. But back to Thrilljoy. That one's cool. I do think I will buy that one. I'm assuming Megs will get it as well.
Yeah, we'll see. If I see it in the store.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun in the store. But now this next one is super cool. Batman, the original,
TV
series, live action. But I'm getting tired of this, even though I think this is cool. Because like we can only get so many Batmans from that. It is pretty sick that we're getting the Riddler and Mr. Freeze though,
Yes.
as the Chase and Super Chase. But then also at the same time, I feel like the hero should have been a villain. Like this is where this is cool, and this is just like the strategy person in me. I don't understand. Like this just makes no sense.
Yeah, and I think they did this already. No, didn't they have like a Batman and Penguin was the
Correct?
Chase?
They've already done this. I think it was Robin and then the Penguin. They look cool, and like the color palette and like the whole Pix look fits the whole like look of that show, in my opinion. But like, it's funny. As huge as Batman is a character, this is not the version people are clamoring for. And that's like,
which is weird that they have that,
that.
I mean, they clearly, maybe that license is different because they have that clearly and they're going all in on it. But I agree. I think this could have been something where you got Batman, you got Robin as a Chase, and like maybe you can think of somebody else, but then you do 3 villains. Like you were saying, could have been Penguin, Riddler, Freeze. Make that common, Chase, Super Chase, because they're 3 completely different. If you're a fan of this series, clearly you're going to want to get them. You're going to go after all of them. This one, I'm sure a lot of people are going to want that Freeze, obviously, the Riddler as well. But like, how many of the Batmans are they going to have to get through to get that when we already have like this version of Batman? So it is different. Obviously, it looks a little different and it's posed and everything. It looks cool. Like if this was the first set they came out with for the Batman TV series, you'd be like, oh, that's pretty sweet. But they kind of have, put a little bit too much into that. Then we have a little more horror, Candyman.
Yep.
Which this is cool. Just got a common and a Chase, but see, Chase different, bloody, eye all messed up. Great. Like that's a nice one. It's a little niche. You don't have a ton of people that probably love it, but you have some people that do love it, probably really love Candyman. So like that's a good one to kind of dip your toes into some more. Obviously, they love the horror. Horror is clearly
insane.
A lot of what they have been doing. I do feel like a lot of them, interestingly enough, lend well to these molds. So
I agree.
Usually they do look pretty good. Then that last one, we got another Harry Potter, which they have really got a ton of characters of Harry Potter.
Yeah, we're getting Severus Snape. Like, weirdly enough, he's my favorite Harry Potter character, and I'm just like this the chase him as Bogart, like it's just so outdone. Funko did this. Like you could have done something better, in my opinion, with this. Maybe I would have liked to have seen like another slithering character that could have been the chase, or another professor, not just this version. I get why they did this. It's probably just so whoever come up with the idea is like, oh, this is exactly what we did for Funko. Like, it's great. It's so different. But like, I am not a fan of it. I wouldn't even like really want that chase. I feel like, it's just funny. The Harry Potter ones in general, I don't think they've been like that great. They kind of all just look the same. I don't. It's weird. But overall, this is a pretty good, as we always say, like variety drop with something for everyone. I really would like to see them maybe start coming out with some more stuff though, because I just randomly went to Thrilljoy.com and like the amount of Batman that they've made for the original live action is crazy. Like we got Batgirl, Robin. So that original, so the Batgirl was the hero, Robin was the chase, and the super chase was Penguin.
Oh, okay.
It should have been Batman, Robin, Batgirl.
Batgirl, yeah.
Like, yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, but big set, a lot of stuff, variety for sure. A little bit of something for everyone, I guess you could say, which is, I don't hate that. They do come out the 13th, February 13th, I believe is when this like officially will drop. Check out their website. And if it's something that you want to grab, get on there and grab it. But we'll move on. We'll go to some other stuff. We got a lot of other stuff we want to cover. I do know we want to talk about some cards real quick. Just a bit, because this was a drop that did come out. If you're listening to this, obviously it already came out, but while we were recording this, it had just come out for us. This was the Tops, new line for Tops. This is Disneyland's 70th anniversary. So this was a special set. I know for a little while we knew this was coming out, and we were, both very excited, both big Disney fans, and specifically Disney park fans, because that's kind of where this more lends. Obviously for Disneyland specifically, the first Disney park, and its anniversary of 70 years this year, where, getting a lot of stuff related to that. If you're going to the parks, which I'm actually going to be going to the parks in about a week or so. Very excited. I've never been to Disneyland, California, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, these cards came out, and I believe it was 12 o'clock our time when they dropped, and we went on. I grabbed a couple hobby boxes quickly because I was like, these might sell out. I think if I can get hobby, that's where it's at for me.
Yeah.
Because to me, I don't see too much. They're called value boxes for a reason, blaster box. I didn't want to go too crazy on those because I feel like those you might just find them randomly. And then I know you grabbed some. And then we were a little surprised because for the first like 15, 20-ish minutes, we were like, oh, they're still there, whatever. But about 25 minutes, I would want to say, around that range.
Minutes, yeah.
Around half hour is when they officially completely sold out all the hobby stuff. So there was still some demand and still some hype behind it, which I know we were initially, like I said, surprised because it was a little bit more niche, but it's still Disney. So at the end of the day, there was still people that were on there. But this set's pretty cool. It's a lot of different things, obviously specific to the park, specific to Walt, specific to a lot of the rides. And then obviously you're also going to get, autographs and certain like types of nice inserts and stuff mixed in there. Even some chrome mixed in there. They kind of usually do that with just like kind of variety sets. But what do you think about the set? Set I think is pretty cool. I'm excited to actually get these in. I haven't ripped cards, like legit cards, in a while. So this will be one that I'm pretty hyped for.
I'm pretty excited too. I do think it's a niche set. This is for like Disney fans like ourselves. Obviously, Breaker still went in to get them, but I think it's very unique. It's fun to be a, memorabilia for the 7th anniversary. And yeah, like I was looking at one of the inserts is like the posters for the rides they have in the theme parks, like old pictures of Walt. Like this is very old school. The only thing that I found interesting, which we kind of were also talking about, like, you could tell it's not a Chrome product. Excuse me. I feel
Mhm.
like that is one of the reasons it didn't move as quickly. And I actually, after I'd done some more research later on, people were comparing it to Disney Wonder. Like,
Yeah, that was a very low
yeah,
end, low budget like
people
wave
are kind of like, there isn't going to be much hype
kids.
for these. It's like you get them because you collect. Like, that's what's just so interesting about cards. It's like we're getting them because we like to collect and we love Disney. If you get a big kit, it's awesome. But people were kind of acting like this is going to be for your enjoyment of collecting rather than getting any big hits, which I'm cool with.
Yeah, which I agree. And I mean, obviously in a hobby box, you're still guaranteed something. So even
Yeah.
if you get like an autograph or some kind of memorabilia card, something that we as big fans would still love, like that's exciting. To me, it may not be something that's gonna bring in a bunch of dollars, but it's gonna bring us happiness and stuff. So I think I'm excited to just see what these cards look like, and then obviously going to the park for the first time in California finally. So I'll be able to see a little bit of kind of maybe what I'll get out of some of these cards. So that'll definitely be cool and exciting. So if you did grab those, like, best of luck when you start ripping that stuff. Let us know. Obviously, this was like a pre-order
Yeah, then they
for
come
the
out till
hobby
March.
boxes. So I was gonna say it's a couple months, I think, before we start getting them in. But we have that. We do have some VeeFriends super sticker boxes that'll be coming around the
I,
same time, probably
yeah.
too. So it's kind of interesting. We're gonna have a lot of stuff to rip, which is
I
kind of
know.
funny.
I'm pumped for
Uh,
the VeeFriends.
yeah, and that's a perfect transition to the VeeFriends that we wanted to talk about. But this is not cards related. This will be comic related. So with our little comic section of the episode, we're going to talk about, of course, VeeFriends. Last episode, of course, we talked about issue 10, which was the rare robot. It was kind of like the new one that dropped. And now we're already getting issue 11
And more.
coming soon. They're coming pretty fast, which they said they had a lot in the pipeline. They said they were going to really double down on this,
They're coming
but
too fast.
it's getting a little too much, because when it was like more comfortable for us to get them here and there and get everyone, now it's like, oh man, are we going to end up skipping some because they're going to be too many? And I hope not. But the next set, you can talk a little bit about it. Next issue, sorry.
Yeah.
Because they did release kind of quick little thing about it, some pictures and the alternate art as well, which was pretty sick.
Yeah, so as Mick said, we're going to issue 11, and this one will be starring the adventurous astronaut, and it also will be the first appearance for the adaptable alien in the VeeFriends world. I feel like a lot of people like to put those two characters together. I think this is the best cover art out of any of the comic books that have come out so far, in my opinion. The common one is sick, and the cover B is
So sick.
is unbelievably cool.
Yeah.
And that's drawn by Jim Rugg, where and the cover A is drawn by Ben Perkins. And I mean, you'll have to look at these guys when you're watching the podcast on YouTube, which you should, definitely come on over.
So you can see them.
Yeah. They're super cool. I'm like in love with this one. I probably still will only get one because I don't need to chase it hardcore, but like they're just super cool. And I just have a feeling this comic in general is going to be a lot of fun. Because also for people, if you're not aware, if this is your first time listening, all of the VeeFriends comics come in a mystery pack. So because there's all different variants.
If you're watching, I'll show you quickly.
Yeah, there you go.
This is the rare robot one. Comes in like I haven't opened yet. Shows you like common, the alternates, and obviously there's a lot of rarities with the foils and stuff too. And it's like a secret because you have no idea what it is until you open it.
Yeah, so like it's just crazy because I'm looking at it now. I mean, so there's the base, there's the lollipop, the gold, the silver, the holofoil, the cracked ice, and the shimmer. They're like tons, which makes it fun, especially if you're into the mystery of it all. But I feel like me and Meg just got one. We get what we get for our collection and call it a. But some people, dude, I was on a Whatnot stream the other day and someone was like, "Yeah, I bought 50 of the rare robots."
Dude, did you hear what happened though?
Yes, I did, which is crazy because then they're getting 100.
Yeah. Which if you guys didn't know, obviously like usually they'll be mixed up, obviously, and you have a chance of stuff. But like, supposedly there was a little bit of a mistake, and like, essentially, if you ordered like a batch, like they were all common, they were going to all be common because they all got shipped kind of together, which that kind of sucks. But
Yeah,
those people don't care though. Like you said, instead of being like, "Damn, I want to do it," no, they'll be like, "All right, well, I'm gonna get 50 more." Like it's like maybe I'll get all the rare ones.
It's
you know?
just crazy. I'm over here,
It
like
is.
I'm happy with one.
Yeah. Honestly, that's the thing. I'm still missing one issue, which I think is 3. I'm pretty sure, and every other one, like I'll just get one. Perfect, got it, love it. The only time I ever got 2, I think, was when we were at New York Comic Con, and I only
Oh
got the
yes.
set, but then I got that free one or that one, and it happened
Did
to
you
be
get
like
2 of the first one?
and maybe the first one. Was it
So
the first one?
issue
I might have.
2.
But then
Yeah.
after, I think I did. So
did I.
There's one that I
Yeah.
got 2 of. But then after that, I was like, why am I going to do this? Like, let's get one. Whatever it is, it is. And then I
Yep.
love it regardless. We're collecting it. We're not trying to flip it, which obviously, some of these get flipped for some crazy prices if you get them. One of the really rare ones. But yeah, this is a cool one. I like the artwork on it. It looks sick. It's badass. 2 characters are great. The astronaut and the alien are both great characters anyways. But one thing I did want to say is what they've been doing and like really crushing it is like DJ obviously is kind of like running this, right?
Yep.
He's writing it all. He's getting Gary involved, but he has such a great team and like the people that he uses and he's working with closely. And he's obviously a great artist himself, but he has connections and great relationships with other amazing artists. Is that I love that they're just getting a variety of different artists because what's great about it is like, yeah, it's all VeeFriends. It's all VeeFriends characters. They're all kind of based off of what Gary originally made. And then DJ kind of amplified that. But then you have these other artists that kind of are just doing their own style and like input of what
Which
they
is
think
what's
it should
cool.
look like. So every cover or every like one that you get looks different and it has like some uniqueness to it. And it's not all just the same, which isn't a terrible thing, but I like that it's different like that.
I 100% agree.
Yeah. So these are definitely, and rumor is we're probably going to keep getting even more of these. So that's where it's going to get a little scary if they start getting just bringing these out way too often. And speaking of, we did have a little bit of an interesting little leak. We talk about leaks and stuff on here sometimes, but this was something that leaked the supposed list, which seems to be pretty spot on. So I'm pretty sure that was actually what we're going to get. Kind of giving you a little bit of a, how far did it go? Maybe the next.
Well, it's funny. It
5. It was a mix of obviously some of the older stuff. But
there's older stuff. We're definitely
wasn't like in an order, basically.
Next one is, and which I'm pretty sure when this did leak, we didn't know about 11 yet. So like that isn't obviously a aha. But then it's showing what issue number 24 is. But we don't have all the way up to 24, so it's interesting.
Yeah, they're not in order.
They're not in order.
This list that was kind
so we have a few, but it's saying the next one is going to be of the Mindfell Minakawa.
Yeah.
But then, so it's saying we're going to get one of the Moral Monkey, but there is no number next to that. So
yeah.
Then number 13 is Farm Fights, which is interesting.
We kind of know something about that already.
Yes.
From the Comic-Con.
Which is cool. And then we're seeing the Driven Dragon. That doesn't have a number next to it. So part of me is like, I wonder if they're still, at this point, they're deciding what number comic they want to be.
When it would come out. Yeah, like we know that that's being made. Yeah. It's a character. That's about it.
Because like one thing that is like cool about the VeeFriends comics is they are all so far kind of just like standalone stories per se. Like you could just like read any of them. You don't need to necessarily read them all in a row. So that also is a good way for you to just kind of jump in. Like if you just want to get a comic, you can. Yep. But then these next 2 ones like really like caught my eye: Doggy Daycare and Fish U. Which it's like interesting because most of the comics so far have really been focused on a character. I feel like the Astronaut's like one of the first ones where it's really, the cover's promoting 2 characters.
Besides the very bad intentions.
True, yes, but That is true, but I feel like it was really focusing on the fairy, but that is you are
Mhm.
right about that. Where this is just though, it's kind of like, is it gonna be a comic about a bunch of the dog characters and a
Yeah.
bunch of the
Yeah,
fish
yeah, I was gonna
characters?
say, if anything, it's had a couple of different types of dogs because there
Yeah.
are a few different ones, and then even the farm fights, which maybe that's got a little bit of mixture of stuff in it. The fish U would be an interesting one because it's like, is it all the
Yeah.
barracuda and the salmon? Like, is it like those? Like, but it was it's exciting to see because obviously we know they're gonna realistically they probably want to do them all, eventually.
Yes.
And we spoke with DJ, who again we've talked about him on here. He was amazing, and he spoke to us for a little while. Like we had a nice job, chatting it up with him at New York Comic Con in person, and he doodled for us and drew a couple things. But he kind of hinted like, there's going to be a lot of characters coming in. They're really going to, ramp this up. And then obviously we had that little scavenger hunt thing that revealed some of the characters, which
Yes.
it ended up being a lot of these characters that we're now currently getting. So it's going to be wild to see kind of where they go, and it's just getting even better. Like everything has been great with the comics, like, and who would have thought? Because in the beginning, obviously, it was about the cards and NFTs, and it was like, okay, then we got
It
figures
was
here
an
and there and
interesting
things like that,
way
right?
to
And then all of a
go.
sudden, it's like comics, and they're really getting doubling down on it.
It's
But
almost
I like it.
like if you were to come into VeeFriends right now, that seems to be like they're a comic book company.
Oh yeah, yeah. You
Like,
wouldn't think cards necessarily
no,
because
they
most
haven't
of them
really
are
had a new
older. Obviously, Topps
product.
Chrome came out last year, but most of their
Yeah.
stuff is older, right? And they haven't really. And then super stickers is a thing, but like, like obviously you wouldn't think that's just all they do. So yeah, right now the comics is where they're really putting a lot into it. They're definitely investing into that for sure. But yeah, I'm hyped for some of those. Minakawa's obviously, according to this, will be the next one after Astronaut, of course. So that would be pretty sweet to see kind of with that. The monkey one, I'm excited to see too. So who knows when those will be coming out. But I'm excited for sure. It's something that we both are
Yes.
passionate about. So let's see. Just don't come out like every week or 2 weeks or anything
I
like that. That'd
know.
be a little too crazy, but we'll see. We already,
Don't
like I
get too
said, it's already
greedy. Come
been
on.
robot straight to this astronaut one. So
Yeah.
which kind of stuff. What is there an official date?
Yeah,
12th.
it's the
Oh, geez,
12th.
February 12th. Yeah, so it really is.
Yeah.
Man, it's gonna get tough. I have to get these. That's when I'm gonna be in California, so I'm gonna have to remember.
I'll remind you.
The hour is a different change. Yeah. So all right. So that's gonna be the collector chatter portion. We're gonna get into some cinema talk. We do got 2 trailers that we wanna go over. We're gonna start with one that me and Charlie, funny enough, we talk every day, we talk all the time, and we kind of were getting into a little bit of a debate with this and kind of going back and forth. And we're like, we gotta stop. This has to be on the episode. Like we gotta really put it into the episode because this is a great one. And of course, we want to hear some of your takes, what you guys think, or whatever. But that is, of course, the first trailer we'll talk about, which is for the movie Michael. So, if you haven't seen it, which I'm assuming you probably have, because I'm going to bring up some numbers, which are pretty wild. But Michael Jackson biopic, it's been in the works, talked about for a long time. It's going to span kind of like pretty much his life. It's obviously being done by his estate, his people. So, they're probably not going to get into the scandals or anything. That's going to be kind of more his music career and his impact and all that kind of stuff. His nephew, Jafar Jackson, who is actually going to be playing him, is another aspect that makes it like really cool because it's like someone that
Agreed.
obviously is in his family. He's also talented and musically inclined. So he's literally singing, dancing, everything he's doing is actually him, which is even better. But of course, Michael Jackson in general is massive, worldwide, globally. One of my favorite artists of all time, of any music style, genre, regardless. And when I saw this was coming out, I was excited. Oh, cool movie. It's being done by their people. It's going to be awesome. Looks great. It's being directed by pretty badass director. Interesting though, a very different route than what we're used to seeing him do, like the likes of Training Day and Equalizer. And
Yeah,
now he's doing a Michael
it
Jackson
is
biopic,
interesting. Yeah,
which is it's by Lionsgate. So like there's a lot of behind it. But the big talk right now, what me and Charlie kind of we'll talk about the trailer, but we also want to talk about this. And something that I mentioned is that I think this movie is going to be one of the biggest movies we've seen in a long time. It's kind of my side of the take. I'll talk a little bit about that, and Charlie will kind of give his input. Um, but the question was, will this make $1 billion, which is a lot of money. Movies have done it, not many, but movies have. I personally think it will. Uh, but let's talk about the trailer real quick first.
yeah,
What are your thoughts initially? Because I know we're both fans. So,
yep.
what do you think?
I thought
There was a lot in the trailer. So,
the trailer was incredible.
yeah.
It was so well done. It really set up what the movie is going to be about. I mean, I think we're going to get some phenomenal acting performances, especially from, Michael's dad. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
that.
Coleman Domingo, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I feel like that's weirdly going to be like the standout performance of the movie. I liked that it seems we're getting him from the Jackson 5 as a kid.
Mhm.
I feel like they're really gonna highlight of when he decides that he wants to go out on his own. And then obviously, boom, he already was a phenomenon as the Jackson
Yeah.
5, but
Which is crazy.
then
Yeah.
what it leads into him being his solo career, it like you can tell this movie's being made by the estate, family involved. Like it all just looked so like almost was like, oh, is that Michael for a second? Like, is this
Yeah.
old footage?
Yeah.
Like like everything.
Makeup and everything they did was
Yes.
crazy.
And obviously it's only his nephew, but like it's his genes. Like he
Mhm.
looks, even the body, like structure, like I'm
Yeah.
sure this kid practiced like hardcore, but even
Yeah.
when
That
he's
was
like
one thing I was gonna say.
dancing, like it just looked like Michael Jackson. So from that aspect, like I'm like super excited for this movie. And I thought the trailer did its job. I don't
Mhm.
know how you could watch that movie and watch that trailer and not be excited for that movie if
Yeah.
you're a Michael Jackson fan. And even if you're just like a music fan, like anything, like it looks like it's going to be entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah. I 100%. I agree. It was done so well. There was a lot in there, but like it was super impactful. It looks like it's shot amazing. Like they obviously did a really good job with that. The music's obviously going to be supposedly it's going to feature like 30 different Michael Jackson tracks and some even like deep cuts that you
Just
wouldn't
crazy.
really think of, which that's really cool. Yeah, makeup looks wild. Even on Domingo, like you're seeing like he looks like the dad. You're like,
Yeah,
oh,
I agree.
this is
He looked
wild.
better than I expected him to
Yeah,
look.
very, very good. And then obviously Jafar as Michael. Clearly he has the genes, whatever. But they had prosthetics, they had to do the makeup. His voice, like he does it perfectly.
It's creepy.
It's insane. And they said he like really for like a year and a half, he was like just practicing, whether it was the voice, singing, because again, he's singing. He can obviously sing, but I'm sure he didn't necessarily perfectly sing like Michael, so he had to change it a little bit. The dance moves, learning the moonwalk like the way Michael did it. Like it's not just like he's just dancing, like he's doing what Michael did, right? So like that whole thing was like I'm even more excited, like wow, this is great. And it's gonna span so much, like where, like you said, Jackson 5, you see him growing up. Obviously that was big. Then we're gonna see kind of how are they gonna portray like that transition to when he starts going solo. And then each album that comes out, Thriller, Bad, like all those like the performances, like all that kind of stuff is going to probably be like crazy. And we're obviously going to see how wild the fans were, how crazy people are going worldwide, how globally big he was. And I think the trailer did do justice. And one thing I want to mention is I don't know if you saw this, I was looking beforehand because I wanted to kind of get an idea of like, where is this trajectory like on this movie and what's going on. So it's the highest viewed music biopic trailer of all time already within the first 24 hours, which currently, oddly enough, Taylor Swift was the previous owner of that record in the first 24 hours from biopic, and then I think Bob Marley was also up there for the Bob Marley biopic. So obviously there's like a lot of hype behind it. People are looking and watching it. But my big thing that we were talking about is kind of where we went back and forth, and we can get into it, is obviously like this movie I think is going to be huge, and for a few reasons. Like, one, obviously it's Michael Jackson, to me the biggest artist worldwide, like of all time. Like, I don't know if anybody was ever at his level, like around the world. Maybe in the US there's been people that, were huge, or maybe just in the UK. Obviously the Beatles are up there, there's people that are up there, but like everybody knew Michael Jackson. Whether you liked him or you didn't, you like knew who he was. You knew his music. People, and this is another reason why I say this, people that didn't know English knew Michael Jackson songs and learned English and spoke because of Michael Jackson songs. Like, it was that big outside of the US, I'd say, right? I grew up listening to Michael Jackson as a kid because my dad was a huge fan. So like I was always a massive fan. He was the first celebrity that when he passed away, I like literally bawled my ass out. Like, it was crazy. There's not many of them, but he was one of them. And that impact, I feel like, is going to translate to people wanting to see this. I think he's been gone long enough too that it's like some music biopics, like we got freaking Bruce Springsteen, guy still alive doing whatever he's doing. And then we got a movie, like not as many people I feel like are as interested when that comes out versus like a person who did pass, or it's been like years later, and like you're like, oh, I would love to see kind of the story, or maybe you don't know the story, whatever it is, and you kind of get into it. That mixed with the fact of like the fans and how many people do love his music, I feel like is what's going to drive numbers. I know there's a lot of controversy behind him, but I feel like that part is going to outweigh it, especially globally, like in other countries in the Asian market and over there. Tons of them love Michael Jackson. Like, it's insane. He was wildly popular. I don't think anyone's ever been as big, but that's just my take. But yeah, that's kind of my biggest reason why I think it's going to be as big as it is. And I don't think the too many people don't go to theaters anymore thing is going to matter for this kind of movie. Same way, like with huge superhero, massive blockbuster movies, I think it's the same kind of thing. My personal opinion.
Okay. All right. So maybe I'll eat my words when this comes out. But I am on the other hand where I think this movie will be big. I think it'll come close. I don't think it's going to make $1 billion. The only way I think it will is if it actually is an amazing movie. If it comes out and it gets great reviews, I do think there'll be certain people who wouldn't go see it will then go see it because they feel the need to go see it because it's good. It's just weird because this is more of a personal story because I am a huge Michael Jackson fan as well, and I'm super excited for it. But one thing that really opened my eyes, and it's not that many, like it was a few years ago, maybe 2 years ago, like, so I worked in the entertainment industry, and there would be times where we would, in our team meetings, just kind of like, we'd do fun icebreakers just to get to know each other more. And when we were talking about like who are some of your favorite artists of all time, when I said Michael Jackson, I got like the dirtiest look. Like, oh my God, is Charlie not the person that we thought he was? And I was kind of like, whoa, in my mind. Like, it was just weird. Now, obviously, New York City, that is a bubble in itself. But it surprised me how many people were like, yeah, I do not like Michael Jackson anymore. I don't care how good his music was. I don't care how big of a, icon he was. Like, I don't fuck with Michael Jackson anymore. Kind of like shocked me. And it was almost like basically, let's just say I had 20 people on my team. Maybe like 3 other people were on my side. I was like surprised by that.
That's it. I mean, that is interesting. I mean, I could see that happening, obviously here and there, whatever. But I do have a question, not to get too in depth and everything. But one is, what was the general age range of the people that you work with? And two was what, not that you have to like,
Yeah.
politically or how they, but like what generally was like your workforce? And
Yeah. So
obviously we also know the company you worked for and
yeah,
like kind of where that went,
yeah.
if you get my
Um,
drift.
there's plenty of people in the room who would have been of his like growing up in his era of like they actually would have liked Michael
Okay. So they
Jackson.
weren't like just younger than you
No,
per,
the
per
people
se.
younger than me, yes, I'm happy you bring that up because yeah, they're just like fuck Michael Jackson.
Mhm.
Yeah, they don't get it. People around our age, that's where there was like a mixture.
Mhm.
And then there was even like, it's just funny. My boss, who's like, music is like his life. Like, he loves music so much. He's even like, I cannot listen to Michael Jackson anymore, which I found interesting as like a music lover. And, this is just one experience, but it's the only reason I bring this up is I think that's why I'm like, is this movie going to do as well as like maybe me and you think it's going to? Because so many people are just like disgusted by him, which is upsetting because maybe I'm naive. Like, I sometimes still think like Michael Jackson didn't do anything wrong. Like, like it's
No, yeah.
just,
I
it's
so this is
weird.
so this is the thing. This is an interesting thing, and we're gonna kind of maybe even go left when I start talking about this. But um, it it's interesting because obviously there are people that are out there that are like that. Yeah, I agree. I don't. I think a lot of people I've been around or people that are in my life or work or whatever, generally on the other side, I don't think as many are like you. That's why I was asking you those questions, like the type of people you work with or who. And this is not you; it's like who they were,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
get a
yeah,
vibe because obviously there's certain types and certain sides that will only go one way or the other, which is what I'm going to bring up in a second. And I just find it interesting because, like to me, you know, I just don't try to think of that. Whatever it is, no one. I don't even want to say no one knows what was real, what wasn't, whatever, because obviously certain people probably do, and whatever it is. But like to me, it was like the music was what the music was, what his
yes,
impact was, what his dancing, all that kind of stuff. Growing up, obviously as a kid, like that's all you thought about, right? And then there's other artists and there's other people who have done crazy, stupid shit that I'll still listen to the music. If I'm a fan of the music, I'm a fan of the music. I can kind of differentiate that. Doesn't mean I'm going to go hang out with somebody because they're a terrible person with other shit that they do, right? But what I was going to bring up is this world obviously is wild and there's all sides and
yeah,
haters of certain people and things like that, right? So much so that like an artist, let's bring up like Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury was clearly knowingly gay. Tons of people that are against that. We clearly don't. And that movie still made 900 million, right? I'm sure there was people that don't agree or whatever. And I just think his impact and globally specifically, because if we're just talking straight US,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
going
yeah,
to be a very different conversation. Globally, that still did what it did because of just the impact of what Queen was and their music or whatever. And as of right now, they are clearly the highest movie grossing worldwide for a music biopic specifically. Clearly, we have Avengers and Avatar and all those that are in the 2 billion and whatever as the highest ever, but that's different. That's superheroes and
yeah,
all that kind of stuff, right? So for this, not much gets that number. I think the next closest was like 100, maybe 200. Like
yeah,
Queen, the Bohemian Rhapsody movie was at 900, right? So to me, that was an interesting thing because like there is a division in even that side of thing. And again, this is different, clearly, but I only say that to say that like I feel like even haters will still watch or haters will still listen to certain shows or certain
oh,
things, even if
totally,
they are against it, right? And what does that give them? A click, a view, a like, money, whatever it is. That's what I'm saying. Even people that maybe don't agree with certain things or whatever, I feel like will still, but not to cut myself off completely, but I do think like, let's say it's like a terrible movie and it's received awful. it's a little different of a story. Obviously, I still think a ton of people will still watch it because I still think he's a big enough. Not many people could do this, but I think he's a big enough name that people can see past a review. Not everyone, but I think majority,
Yes.
right? So when you said like if it's not received well, I may be wild in saying this, but to me, not received well is still getting right around the billion, and received well is making like 1.5. Like I think it could be that big. That will sway obviously based off of like, yeah, is it a good movie? To me, it looks like it's going to be a good movie. Even
I do agree.
not being a fan, I think acting wise will be interesting to see kind of what they think of Jafar, because we haven't really seen him do anything. I think his singing and dancing is what's going to drive him in the movie, obviously. And clearly the father. And that will probably be more of the acting chops where you're like, wow, that performance was amazing or whatever. But yeah, I just think that stuff is going to outweigh it. I really do.
Which I hope is true.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I think the movie looks amazing, and it has some star power in it, which is also good. I mean, let me tell you, they're going to be promoting the crap out of that movie.
Oh, I'm
So
sure. I mean, they
yeah,
should, rightfully so,
it's
like, to really push it.
and
But
even like you bring up the trailer. I mean, like people are like the thing about Michael Jackson as well. You're right. Like even if you are a hater, you're definitely watching that trailer because you're intrigued to see what this movie's going to be.
of course,
Like it is. I mean, yeah. Like I can be swayed. It's just it'll be interesting. But I'm definitely seeing the
I think
movie.
you'll be a little surprised. Let's put it that way. I think we're going to talk about this obviously in
Yeah.
however many months to see kind of
I hope I'm wrong.
where it is. Yeah, and that's a funny thing. I know you're not on the like negative side, like you're against this. It's not going to do good. It's more like you're just thinking, all right, I like you said, you have experience, personal experience, people that you work with, which is funny because like my experience and whether, like I said, work, job, whatever, if a Michael Jackson song came on anywhere that I've been, people are either bopping their head, dancing, singing it,
Yeah.
and never have I heard someone say, "Oh, I can't listen to Michael Jackson." Whatever. Just me. Again, you worked in New York City, which is a fucking melting pot of everyone. I haven't. I was mostly more in Jersey, so like to me, I haven't seen that. To me, it's been the complete opposite. Whereas I might have seen that with like R. Kelly, Kanye, like people like that, right? Where it's like you still love the music, but there's a couple people that are kind of like, whatever. I just feel like Michael Jackson is just like beyond that. But the funny thing is the young crowd doesn't really know him like obviously our age does. Although I've even got my daughter knows songs. But yeah, it's gonna be. I don't know. Again, I think Asia is gonna hugely impact this. Like
Yeah. I you
in
were right with
China,
that.
he's
Yes.
huge, huge, huge.
Yes.
So I think clearly is the reason why, we talked about it, Zootopia blew up as big as it was
Yeah.
because of that market, right? I think they can drive those numbers like very, very high. Like it'll be interesting to see what it does domestically. Like that number I don't really have a pulse on because of the division and how mixed up it might be. But I just think global impact of certain people kind of outweigh other things. Like another reason why I told you, I think this is completely different, but I think the Super Bowl and the halftime show, even with all the haters and the people that are hating on Bad Bunny and Hispanics and all that kind of stuff, I think the other side is still bigger. That it's still going to make it such a huge viewed, show per se,
Yeah.
right? Rather than the people that are hating, and even some of the people that are hating are going to chime in just to see it, just to get clips and things to
Yeah.
talk about, right? So that's still going to give them a view, still going to give them,
No, totally.
at the end of the day. So different thing, but yeah, I can go on a rant with that too, but it's not that kind of podcast.
No, but it could be.
Yeah, no, really good draw there. But yeah, this is big. Obviously, we'll see kind of what happens if you guys haven't seen each other. I mean, like I said, I actually looked it up, and it was 116 million views that it did in the first 24 hours, which
I'm shocked.
it's not the
it got
biggest
more
ever,
than the
but
Taylor
for a
Swift
music biopic, yeah, Taylor Swift and Bob Marley were the two highest. The Bob Marley biopic I did really well in that first 24 hours for the trailer, and it I guess shattered those. So it's clearly the intrigue is there. Like people are wanting to see because we got that like little snippet teaser, super super small, quick thing, whatever, a while back. But this was like full blown, and it looks like it's done really well. Honestly, like the
It
colors
does.
and the way it's filmed, like it looks like it's not just like a cheapy little biopic. Like someone's just like, oh, let's do something for
No,
Michael Jackson, whatever.
but it is
Like there's
funny
money in it.
you bring up the like that first teaser. If you, as a Michael Jackson fan, I was excited for it, but it was like whatever. This was like like this trailer was awesome. Like I watched it a bunch of times.
Yeah, bro, they literally redid the Thriller dance where the actual Thriller dance was done in LA. Like they actually picked the place.
Which is sick.
They recreated his Neverland Ranch like to a T based off of all videos and pictures and everything. Like they did so much to make this like a realistic, at least portrayal that they want to give, let's say. Clearly all the fans, the music, all that kind of stuff. The outfits. Bro, like like you said, every outfit, we've seen these outfits in pictures and
Yeah,
videos,
it's
like
crazy.
to a T. Like Funko has made pops of him in these outfits too. Like, like they did it to a T. Like it's crazy.
Do you hear though Paris
I'm
Jackson
excited.
is not a supporter of the movie?
Who?
His daughter, Paris.
Really? I wonder if they didn't get her, anything.
She said the script is. She said it's all lies. But it's just yeah.
Which is, I mean, as the kid,
but I also don't really know.
She wasn't really around for a lot of it, though. Like,
and like no one will ever really know what her relationship was with him.
Another thing, too, yeah, it could have been terrible. Which clearly she's going to say what she wants to say. But
yeah,
I think that's going to add to things. I'm telling you that if I had to take your take on like the controversy and people that don't, I think that actually is what's going to fuel it more. Because I think it's gonna, and I think even though some young kids love kids that are into dance and like they're into Michael Jackson, they know him, they do his moves, obviously, like that crowd is there. Obviously our age range is really where you grew up and older. So like my mother-in-law, and she's from Peru, Spanish is her first language, like knows tons of Michael Jackson. She cried when Jackson died. Like, yeah, I mean, the variety is wild of people that
yeah. I mean, but you are right. Like his fan base is so loyal. Like, I mean, I am on the opposite end of the spectrum where I know plenty of people who like. I remember when that Finding Neverland documentary came out. Mm-hmm. They're like, "That's all bullshit."
That's another thing. There's people that just don't. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's just he's just an interesting guy in general.
Exactly. And that's why I think the number of people, like just that point, whether you like, hate, whatever, just know who he is. I don't think anyone knows anyone more in the world, besides like Jesus Christ or something like in the world that know the name Michael Jackson, know who he was, or even know a song. Like majority of them do, right? So that's going to be. It's gonna be wild, but we could probably go
Let us know
forever
what you
on
think
that
in the comments. And what would be getting new Funko Pops for the movie?
Oh God, no. We don't do that. We already got all the other ones. We already got the OGs, and then they redid them. We don't need to do them again. But I'm excited to see, and it'll be interesting to see if we get maybe another trailer or some other type of something on it, and we'll see kind of where it goes. I wouldn't be surprised if they play that trailer during the Super Bowl, even just to get more people in front of it, right?
100%.
Yeah. So
probably right before or after the halftime show.
Yeah, something big, exactly.
Yeah.
So let us know, obviously, your thoughts on that. And then we will talk about one more quick trailer here before we end the episode. This one, a little different. This is going to be Stranger Things. Of course, this is Stranger Things 86. What's
85.
What's the actual title? Or 85, sorry.
Tales from 85.
85, that's what it is, yeah. Animated, and when I watched it, I knew this was like gonna be coming out. I didn't know anything about it though, besides that it was obviously like animated. Yep. Is this like canon at all? Does it take place specifically in a certain time?
It's set in between seasons 2 and 3.
Okay, so it's in the middle of it, which I figured.
In the middle,
it wasn't like before.
Nope. Okay. And it's taking place during the winter.
So
kind
it's
of
just like
gives
a
it a
little
fun setting.
piece of where we didn't see in a show, some
Yep.
stuff that happened. Okay.
In reality, like I feel like the Duffer Brothers wanted to make this because, there's so many iconic 80s movies that ended up getting cartoons like the Ghostbusters, Karate Kid. Like it kind of just adds into that nostalgic of the property.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I personally think it looks a ton of fun.
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited for it. If you really, for people who aren't aware, and if you haven't watched the show, like it doesn't have any of the original cast in it, which I kind of wish they got them to do it.
The
Some sound
voices, you mean?
great. Some people, you can tell it's not them. Um, the only thing that I'm like a little bummed out about, like, I'm still shocked how many people are just so butthurt over the final season. They're like, screw this show, or like, yeah, who would watch this after the abomination of that finale? Like, I was reading comments, and I'm just like, I don't know. I'm still on the Stranger Things like train. I still consider it one of my favorite shows of all time. And to me, this is just like I want more um like content in the world. I do think it's interesting they chose to do it between seasons 2 and 3. At this point, like maybe it would have been better to kind of give us an animated show during a period of time where the show had been gone for so long and they had like or even we could have seen what happened during the time jump of seasons 4 and 5. But regardless, I think this looks cool. The animation looks fun, and yeah, I'm excited for it.
Um, yeah, I agree. The animation looks great. Like I think that part of it is really cool. I think you always kind of have a little bit more in your bag when it comes to animation because you can kind of do a little more when
Yeah,
you literally animate it, right? Especially when it has to do with,
monsters.
anything sci-fi or something monster, exactly, like stuff like that. So like that kind of excites me to see kind of where they go with it when it comes to that part of it. Um, I'm kind of in a different spot though, where obviously I don't care about the whole hating shit. The season 5 was what it was. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I liked the ending. It wasn't amazing. Was it as good as like that OG? No, for sure. The first season is always going to probably still be the best, the most nostalgic, the one that really got us even liking it, right? But I'm kind of in a point where it's like, did we need like you're on the opposite, like you want more Stranger Things. I kind of would have been okay with not having anything else, like just having it be what it was, and that was it. Like I don't know if we needed more like story now, and then like do we get side? Not that they've talked about this, but do we get like? Well, actually, they have with Hopper and stuff. Do we get like side stories and side things? Like, I don't think we need that. Will it still do good, and will I watch it and probably still enjoy it? Yes, but to me, like I'm someone that kind of just enjoyed it for what it was, especially like the originals when it first came out, and like just kind of what it like the happiness it brought and like the nostalgia of the '80s and all that kind of stuff. But it'll be cool. Like I'm excited to see it. Like I'm not saying like I won't, but like if they didn't even make this, I don't think it would have made me like dislike Stranger Things more. And because they're making it, I don't think it's gonna make me like Stranger Things more, if
Yeah,
that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So like that's kind of like in the boat that I'm at. So you know what? The fact that it's animated is cool. Like I'm glad that's kind of because it is different, like in that aspect. And you can kind of get a little bit of but it's not the original people clearly. So it is gonna be feeling different, when you're getting different voices and different feel for the characters. But I don't hate it. I just I just we'll see how it goes. Is it a series or a movie or
it's a series.
it's a series? Okay. So I mean, we'll see how it goes. I think it could be pretty cool. I do like the style and I like the animation aspect of it and kind of and just even just trailer, just kind of seeing some of the and all the characters obviously and the Demogorgons and stuff. Um it is interesting to get a story though within those gaps. Like that was kind of smart of them. Like I'm glad they didn't just do like a prequel or
Yeah.
something like that. That would have been even like we don't really need that at all. But yeah, it's interesting to see because like I said, there might be another spin-off type thing, and that I just don't think we need that. But you know,
Do we need
it's what
Game of
it
Thrones
is.
spinoffs?
But we don't. We don't. But Game of Thrones, I think, is a little different because it's such a massive world with so much time that the
Yeah.
spin-offs are like
Well, the
complete.
thing is,
It's like Star Wars.
yeah.
They're completely different time area, that kind of thing. Where Stranger Things is kind of more compact. The only other one that I thought you were going to say this one and you didn't. Better Call Saul,
Yeah.
obviously coming off of Breaking Bad, but it was almost like prequel. So it's a little different, I guess. Like it's a
See,
spinoff still
it's
because
funny.
it's the
I like
characters,
that type of shit. Maybe.
but that's cool. But
um,
so I do in like in the Star Wars world, it makes sense. I think in like a small series that takes place over a couple years, and then now you're just gonna get like I don't know. To me, this
well, here's the one thing where I totally get where you're coming from. I genuinely believe like the reason the Duffer Brothers wanted this animated series was what I said earlier. They grew up where like a bunch of their favorite movies got an animated series. Like that happened a lot in the 80s.
yeah,
Like I said, one of the biggest ones that comes to mind is like the Ghostbusters. And that had a whole life of its own. There's no doubt in my mind they definitely had that up on a board. Like, you remember that time the Ghostbusters animated series came out? Like, we want to do that. I don't think they should continuously make this an animated series. And also with spin-offs, like even they've hinted like well, spin-offs coming, but it's gonna be like in the world of Stranger Things. Not gonna really be connected to any of the people that we already know. So like I like that aspect of it. It just I don't think any of it's gonna hit the way that they thought it was going to. Just the same with Game of Thrones. Like
yeah,
no,
it's
it's
true.
just crazy because like I still am a massive Game of Thrones fan. I also maybe I'm too easy to please because I'm such a fanboy, but I've gotten a little more cynical. But it's kind of like I didn't hate the end of Game of Thrones like so many people hate
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But I feel like the show's not going to do well because of the end of Stranger Things. The
No,
hype is
that I
completely
agree.
gone.
That I agree. It's like the wrong time for it. It was like maybe they're looking at it like, oh, this is our way to kind of get it back. But I
Yeah.
feel like too many people are just like done with it. That it's like
Another
it's what
thing
it
that I
is.
do like about it, like I'll watch the first episode and say, "Hey, can like my son watch this with me?" Because like for example, like he knows how much I love Stranger Things, and he'll like pretend, "Oh, Dad, like anything good of Stranger Things?" I mean, I've never let him watch it, even though weirdly younger kids watch that show
Yeah.
than I would ever. Yeah, yeah.
My
I was just
niece
about to say,
loves it.
like it
Obsessed
kind
with
of like I feel like it's too scary, but neither here nor there. But I also think that could be another good thing about this if it is a little more family friendly, that it could bring people to watch. Because even though Stranger Things is over, doesn't mean that Netflix still doesn't want people discovering it and watching it. Like that's the other, just a whole different beast
it.
for a streaming service. It's not like a new movie's coming out of the movie theater.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. I would like to see, I'm gonna watch it. It's not like something that I'm like against. But
But
I'm
like you said, if it didn't
it's gonna be
happen,
torn.
I wouldn't care or think twice about it.
Yeah, yeah. That's the see, like, and the reason why I was saying like something I could compare it to was like, yeah, Breaking Bad is my favorite show of all time. Better Call Saul is amazing. It's up there and one of my top shows as well. But like the movie that they did, El Camino, like to me, they didn't need to do that. And like I
Yeah.
still watched it and like I enjoyed it but it's mostly because of how much I love the show and the characters and stuff like that. But like, was it necessary? Like, not really. And if it didn't happen, like it wouldn't have changed. Like, because it happened, it didn't make me love it more. Again, like I was saying with what this probably would do. But that's just where it's kind of like
No,
I'm
I do agree with you with that. And it's funny not to talk about Breaking Bad, but Better Call Saul, I think, is one of the greatest sequel series of all time because, like, even though he is a main character in the first season, he isn't real. I mean, the first in like Breaking Bad, the proper, he
yeah.
isn't really. So, like,
No.
when you got to like get a whole like learn about him, like, I think that was very brilliantly done. Like, I would
Oh
not have
yeah,
wanted
that
a
is very
sequel.
hard to compare.
Yes.
Yeah, because exactly that. Like it was a big enough character that everyone kind of knew him, but he wasn't Jesse.
Exactly. I wouldn't want a Jesse Pinkman
obviously
sequel
wasn't Jesse,
series.
which I kind of felt like with the Camino thing. That's why I was like, we didn't really need that.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
he was purely made for that show. That's it, right? Yeah. Then we got Saul doing his own thing, and again, it was prequel, so it's like you can go back, and it was interesting to see like how is this going to connect with all prequels. You kind of start thinking that like, well, you know where the end is,
Yeah.
but like, how is it going to connect? And I think when a person can I don't know if he wrote it before or after. I'm assuming he wrote it after, let's say, right? When someone can do that, to me, it's like brilliant. Like, oh my God, if they can make it get to where it has to get to, and you're just like the whole time, like, holy crap, like that was awesome. How did he do that? Even though you knew where it was going to get to.
Even with Gus Fring, I mean, you learned about him more in that show.
Yeah. And you see a couple random Hank even in it and stuff. But that's nothing's going to touch that. That's for sure. But like that El Camino thing is where I'm like, okay, that's where it's like, you're trying to just maximize on like this being popular, and
I like forgot about that.
Yeah, and that was a movie; it wasn't even a show.
Yeah,
so like it was interesting.
I mean, like
people were so hyped because they loved it, and they're like, oh, it's gonna be great, but you just don't need it. You just don't need it.
Agreed.
But this is a little different. It's different enough, and I think again, I don't think they need to keep doing these. Like, come on, but another one, like just
agreed.
One time. That's why I asked, like, is it a series or movie? Because I almost feel like if it was like some type of short movie or something like that, it might have a little bit more of an impact.
I don't know if they've said though, like how long it's going to be, how many episodes. Maybe they have, but I don't even know what the form factor is going to be.
Yeah, to me, shorter I feel like would be better. Does that make sense? Like even if they're short episodes, like just quick. Boom, boom, boom. You're just kind of getting a taste of it, and it's a little different. That's it. Like we don't need so much meat and potatoes in that. If that makes sense. Like just
no, I do
kind of something that But we'll see. Let us know if you guys are excited. But yeah, we're gonna end it there. This was jam packed, long episode. Very good one though. I was happy talking everything that we talked about. Let us know. All the collectible stuff. Funko, Thrilljoy. Are you excited for any of that stuff? Are you grabbing any of it? Did you get the Disney cards? Are you a VeeFriends comic collector? And what do you think about the new Michael movie? The new Stranger Things animated series? What do you guys think of all this stuff? Chime down below. Check it out. Appreciate you guys.
If you made it this far, let us know if you like the movie and TV stuff that we're talking about. Because this is going to become a regular part.
Yeah, we're going to keep doing this. I personally am on the board of we might chop a little more of the collectible stuff off so we can throw more of this in there. But we had a lot to talk about, obviously, in the collectible side this episode. We really wanted to get it in there. But yeah, I think this is going to be something that we'll kind of try to split more 50-50 potentially.
Yeah.
But let us know.
We're not going to just talk about random stuff anymore just to do it.
Yeah. Like, it has to be something that we're excited about or something pretty big. But obviously, movies and shows are going to start really ramping up soon. So I'm sure even series and things that we'll watch, we'll probably chime in and talk about. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff that we kind of plan on that aspect, integrating into pod. So hopefully, if you're still listening, you're getting all this good gems. But yeah, we're excited.
But as always, you can find us at Collector Chatter, at Collector_Migs, and at Collector_Charlie. And if you're listening on the podcast platforms, thank you very much. You can leave us a review. We really appreciate it. And obviously, if you're on Spotify, as I always say, you can interact with the poll of the episode. And then come on over to YouTube if you're not already there. But if you're watching us on YouTube, we really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, if you could please subscribe to the channel, like this video, throw us a comment, and hit that notification bell so you know when a new episode or new shorts or any of that jazz comes out. We really appreciate all your support. As always, collecting is the way. Until the next episode, later, everyone.
Bye, everybody.